guys, sorry for the delay there, had a couple of technical issues. Welcome to Tuesday morning yoga. I hope you're all alright. We're going to be working pretty much everything again this morning. It's quite a lot of squats and quite a lot of lunges, so we're looking quite a lot at quad strength, hip mobility and hamstring strength and mobility. So we're going to start seated. So whenever you're ready, come and find a seat and just sit down cross legs. You don't need any props, but if you do want to grab, if you don't have two yoga bricks or two big books or like a rolled up blanket, rolled up towel, they might be just quite useful for some of the hamstring stretches. And we're going to take a lizard stretch as well this morning. So if in your lizard stretch, you're kind of in between hands being on the ground and forearms being on the ground, and sometimes it's just quite good to put your forearms down onto something for a bit of a deeper stretch. Don't worry if you don't have anything, because there's those options without props as always. I will get started in about a minute, less than that. So whenever you're ready, just come and find a comfortable seat. If you want to sit on anything, so if you feel like when you're sat down, your knees come up quite high, or if your hands are kind of clinging onto your shins to keep you upright, then just place a cushion or yoga blocks, big books underneath your bum to give yourself a little bit of elevation. And it does help your hip flexors start to stretch out a little bit as well. So when you're ready, get yourself into a comfortable seated cross-leg position. If you'd rather start laying down, then you're more than welcome to start laying down. We're just going to take a couple of stretches here before we come into our breath practice. So we'll start with a couple of pec stretches, so chest stretches. First thing we're going to do, I'm just going to spin around so you can see me, is interlace your hands behind your back. This might be enough, just holding the hands here. If it feels alright, then what you can do is start to squeeze your shoulder blades together, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, and start to lift your arms up away from your lower spine. So you should already start to feel this stretch into the shoulders, into the chest. See if you can lift those arms up away from your spine. Don't worry if the arms are quite close towards your back. Even just having the hands without the interlace behind is going to get that stretch into the chest. We'll take one full inhale here, so one massive inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sigh out. From here, we're just going to start to bend the elbows and bring the interlaced hands to the right hip. You might find that it's quite tight and it doesn't want to go there, so if it doesn't, just keep your hands here. If it feels alright, bring the hands to that right hip. In this position, squeeze your right elbow back. So you're trying to bring those elbows together as much as you can. But then you're going to start to get into the neck. So wherever you are, just start to drop your right ear down towards the right. So you're moving away from the left shoulder. So right ear comes down towards right elbow, right shoulder. And then from here, you might just need to shuffle your head from side to side, up and down. Maybe making a couple of circles, just until you can find where that stretch is, or where you can feel that stretch the most. Think about really sending that left shoulder down away from the ear. Keep sitting up really tall here, so try not to collapse into that lower spine. We'll take one full inhale, so breathe in through the nose. And exhale to release, breathe it out. And we'll swap sides, going all the way to the left side this time. Bringing that interlaced hand to the left hip, or just keeping it in the centre of the back. From here, think about drawing that left elbow back as far as you can to meet the right. And then we're going to tip our left ear over towards the left shoulder. So you're getting that stretch down the right side of the neck, maybe into the upper back as well. So again, you might just need to have a play around with rocking the neck from side to side, maybe up and down, until you can find that stretch. Keep thinking about releasing that right shoulder down, so relax that right shoulder, relax the left shoulder as well. We'll take one more full inhale here. Exhale, release the hands, release the interlace. Just give your shoulders a couple of circles, up and down in one direction, and then change direction, so moving the other way that you didn't go. And then whenever you're ready, we'll come and take our breath practice for about 3 minutes. So You can either stay seated if this is feeling comfortable, or you can come and lay down on your back instead. Wherever you are, take a full inhale in through the nose. Exhale, breathe it all back out. We'll do that one more time together. Full inhale in through the nose. And exhale, breathe it back out. And just start to close the eyes. Soften the gaze if you haven't done already. So just take this time at the beginning of our practice this morning just to settle, just to get used to being in your space with your body this morning. In this position, if you are seated, see if you can sit up a little bit taller, so you're sending the crown of the head up towards the sky or the ceiling. But at the same time, let your shoulders be heavy, so let those shoulders roll down and back away from the ears. Just notice whether your hands are palms facing down or whether you've got palms facing up. Both are fine, but just see if you can let them be heavy wherever they've fallen. If you'd rather, you can place your hands into the heart centre, or you can place one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Can be quite a good way of connecting with that breath, because you can feel the breath moving around the body. And just start to notice if you're holding any tension, any gripping anywhere. So maybe in the hips, in the shoulders, in the neck, maybe in the face. Maybe you can just start to relax the jaw, relax the forehead. Just letting their body become heavy here. And then just start to observe, so without changing it deliberately, but just observing the breath moving around the body. So just observing where you can feel it, where you can notice the movements or any movements associated with the breath. So it could be the belly rising, maybe the chest rising, maybe the shoulders. Maybe you can feel the breath in the throat, or maybe you can feel it in the nose. Maybe just noticing the temperature of the air as it comes into the nostrils. And then in your own time, we'll start to deepen the breath here. So starting to lengthen those inhales, taking in a little bit more air, filling up the lungs, filling up the chest with air. And exhaling just to let it all flow back out of the body, making the body come a little bit heavier with every exhale. With your inhales, see if you can start to cultivate diaphragm breathing, so that's getting the air into the belly. So really make your belly as round as you can, so completely relax all of your abdominal muscles as the air comes in. And then on your exhales, as the air starts to leave the body, as you get to the very bottom of the exhale, just start to turn those abdominal muscles back on again. So it's just a slight engagement, a slight drawing back of the belly button inwards and upwards towards the spine. We'll take about 5 cycles of breath here. So with every cycle of breath, just see if you can make it a little bit longer, a little bit fuller, keeping that length in the spine, keeping those shoulders down. And just check as well that you've got length in the cervical spine, so in the neck. Just by tucking the chin slightly, we'll start to straighten out the neck. Staying present with the breath, try not to drift off. We'll stay here for another 3 full cycles of breath. So really trying to slow down that breath, to deepen the breath here. And then with your next exhale, just start to blink your eyes back open. Shrug your shoulders up to the ears, roll them all the way down and back, and then just make your way into a tabletop position. So just coming onto all fours, take your time, Hands underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. Find your strong setup here, so press down into the hands. You can either have those toes tucked or untucked. We'll work through some cat-cows just to get into the spine. So with your next inhale, drop your belly down, lift your chest up and then push your bum backwards. And as you exhale, press into the hands, round between the spine, let your head relax. Just take your gaze towards your belly button or just in between the legs. Working with the breath here, so with every inhale, you're arching the spine. Really try and lift up the chest. So imagine you're trying to stretch between the collarbones, the chest, the pecs. And then with your exhales, you're stretching between the shoulder blades. So really press the hands into the ground. Get that roundness through the spine. Just find your own breath here, so don't worry about being in time with me. Using those inhales to lift and those exhales to round. You can close the eyes again here if you want to. Just feeling into the body. Just waking up the spine. We'll take another 2 more cycles of movement of breath here. So let the breath lead the movement. And then when you are done, coming into a neutral spine, tucking the toes under, send your hips up and back, finding your first downward facing dog. Take your time in this one to just move around, just walk the dog, picking up one leg, picking up the other, maybe bending one knee, bending the other. Just noticing how the body feels in this first downward dog, so anywhere that feels tight, maybe just give it a little wiggle, a little move, maybe circling the ankles, make circles with the wrists, with the arms, just anything that feels good. Head can shake, head can nod. And then whenever you are ready, you can keep moving if you want to, but if you're ready to, start to find stillness in your downward facing dog. We'll take about 3 deep breaths in our still downward dog. So spreading those fingertips wide, really press down into the ground with both hands and all 10 fingers. Keep breathing here. You might want to keep a bend in the knees for this first one, just to wake up those hamstrings. On your next inhale, come up onto the tiptoes, bend your knees, look in between your hands, and just start to walk the feet in between the hands at the front of the mat. When you get there, inhale, halfway lift, so lengthen the spine. As you exhale, forward fold, maybe bending the knees a little bit deeper, just deepening that stretch over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. We'll do 2 more of these. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees enough so that your hands can come down towards the ground. We're going to step back into our high plank position. Holding it here into your high plank, so find your strong setup. Hands are underneath your shoulders. If your low back collapses, just drop those knees down. Keep your gaze towards the front of your mat or just in front of your hands. Again, to lengthen that cervical spine. Keep breathing here. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your bum, and press the weight back through the heels. Really press into the hands. You're trying to round between the shoulder blades here. We'll be here for another 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees down. Keep the elbows hugging into the side of the body as you lower your hips and your chest down towards the ground. Untuck your toes. Shuffle your forearms forward. Take an inhale, coming into your first back bend here. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears. Lifting up the chest. Imagining again here that you're trying to stretch open the chest, the collarbones, open up the heart space. Taking 1 more full inhale in here. And whenever you exhale next, bring your chest down towards the ground. Place the hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes, lift up your thighs, keep squeezing your bum, elbows screw into the side of the body. We're going to press up into a plank position, try not to ripple the body. So coming up in 1 full stack, and then send your hips up and back. Finding downward facing dog, or finding a child's pose, knees out wide, feet together, for 5 deep breaths. So really allow that breath to slow back down. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Making sure that neck is relaxed, the shoulders are down away from the ears. Really spread all 10 fingers wide. Bending that knee in the knees, maybe if the hamstrings are feeling a little bit tight this morning. If you are in your child's pose, take your time to come back into your downward facing dog. We'll work through one more sun salutation just to get us a little bit warmer. Taking an inhale, looking in between your hands, bend your knees, come up onto the tiptoes. Either tiptoe or step one foot and the other foot together in between your hands at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing, bring your arms up overhead, keep the shoulders down. Exhale, we're going straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, place your hands down onto the ground, step or jump back into your plank position. Inhale into your plank, and as you exhale, either keeping the knees on or off the mat, hips and chest lower down to the ground, untucking the toes, inhaling to lift up the chest, either in your Sphinx position with your forearms down, or coming into Cobra or Upward Dog, keeping the elbows bent for Cobra, or starting to straighten those arms for your Upward Dog. Exhale, bringing the chest down towards the ground, tucking your toes under, thighs lift, squeeze your bum, either keeping the knees down or lifting up those knees if you press up into a plank or a tabletop position, and then send the hips up and back, downward dog or child's pose. Find your breath here. Full inhales, deep exhales. Head is relaxed. Just notice if you're carrying a lot of weight in the shoulders, really bend your knees and think about sending the chest back towards your thighs. If you were in your child's position, just make your way into a downward facing dog. Taking an inhale, lift up that right leg, point your right toes and get that right leg up as high as you can. Bend your right knee, then just start to make a couple of circles with that right leg. So just moving in one direction and then moving in the other direction. Maybe circling that ankle as well here. Just finding any movement into that right leg really. When you're ready, on your next inhale, start to lengthen that right leg back up again. As you exhale, squeeze your right knee towards your right elbow. We're going to drop that right foot down to replace the right hand at the front of the mat. So you're in this lunge position. Drop your left knee down. Keep the left hand where it is. Take an inhale. Reach your right arm up. We're just coming into a spinal twist. So really press that left hand into the ground. Turn your palm in towards your face and relax that right shoulder down away from your ears. Keep squeezing the glutes, especially the left glute. There is the option here to either keep that left knee down or tuck the left toes and start to lift up that left knee off the ground. With every inhale, can you lengthen the spine? With every exhale, can you twist a little bit deeper? Keep breathing into this twist. On your next exhale, bring your right forearm either onto your right thigh or right forearm onto the inside of the right foot. We're going to inhale and lift that left arm up to the sky. You can place books or blocks underneath that right hand if you're struggling to reach the floor this morning, if you're feeling a bit tight. Keep squeezing that left glute, shoulders are relaxed. Taking one full inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to come back down, left hand comes down towards the ground, right arm lifts up towards the sky, just twisting in the opposite direction. If you had that left knee down, tuck your left toes, lift up that left leg, really press into that right foot, use your core, start to pick the left fingertips up off the ground, then we're going to press into the right foot, coming all the way up into an awkward standing twist. So the arms are out wide, shoulders are relaxed, left glute is engaged. Take an inhale, bring your arms up overhead, twist to face the front. And then from here, just start to take a micro bend into that left knee. So keeping your arms up if it feels all right. If not, just bring the hands to the hips. We're going to get mainly into this left quad, this left hip flexor. So bend that left knee a tiny bit. You should be able to feel already a stretch into the left quad and the left front of that left hip. Either with your hands up or your hands on your hips, take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to bend that left knee until it's about 1 centimetre off the ground. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, taking your time, bend that left knee, tap in the ground, just 1 centimetre off the ground. And inhale, coming all the way up. We've got 2 more. Exhale, left knee bends. Inhale, coming all the way up. Last time, exhale, left knee bends. Inhale, coming all the way up. As you exhale, open up your arms to a T. Drop your left heel down at a 45-degree angle, finding Warrior 2. So in your Warrior 2, just check that your right heel is in line with those left toes. Right knee is bent, arms are active. Your arms might already be feeling it as well. Mine are. Keep bending into that right knee. Keep trying to open up your right knee to the side. Left leg is hard as rocks. Left leg is engaged. Breathe. Core is turned on. Belly button pulls back towards your spine. Take one more full inhale here. And as you exhale, we're going to windmill the hands down to the floor to frame that right leg. So you might just need to shuffle the right foot into the centre of the mat. Step your right foot back into your high plank position. Finding plank, take an inhale. As you exhale, either sending hips up and back, downward dog or child's pose, or move through vinyasa in your own time. Hips and chest come down on the exhale. We inhale to lift up the chest, taking your back bend. Exhale, chest comes back down towards the ground. Send your hips up and back into your downward dog or into your child's pose. We'll take 5 deep breaths with whichever variation you're going with. So use this time if you need to grab a drink, feel free to grab a drink. Just notice how the body's feeling. Maybe you feel a little bit warmer. Maybe one side feels stretched, the other one doesn't. We're going to do exactly the same thing on the left side. So if you are in your child's pose, just make your way back on up and back into your downward facing dog, lifting those hips up high. Taking an inhale, lift up left leg, 3-legged dog. Point your left toe, straighten that left leg as much as you can, and then from there, bend your left knee and just start to make a couple of circles with the hips in one direction and then moving in the opposite direction. So just really moving into those hips. Might get a couple of cracks out. When you're ready, take an inhale, lift up that left leg. As you exhale, bend your left knee, squeeze your left knee towards your left elbow, and then drop that left foot down to replace the left hand. Right knee drops down towards the ground. We keep the right hand down on the floor. Take an inhale, lifting the left arm up, finding this thoracic twist, so we're getting into that top of the spine. Keeping the gaze towards the left hand, or if it hurts the neck, just take your gaze down towards the ground here. Shoulders are relaxed, turn the palm in towards your face, and really squeeze your glutes, especially the right glute. Take one more full inhale, and as you exhale, left forearm comes to either the left thigh or onto the inside of the left hand. Inhaling to reach the right arm up towards the sky. So again, you can use bricks or blocks underneath that left hand, or just bring the left forearm to the left thigh to ease out of it a little bit. Keep those shoulders down, right glute engaged. Breathe with every exhale to see if you can twist open a little bit more. On your next exhale, that right arm is going to come all the way back down towards the ground, lifting the left arm up to the sky. From here, if you had your right knee down, tuck those right toes and lift up that right leg. Press hard into that left foot. Find your core engagement, belly button pulls back to the spine. Start to hover your right fingertips off the ground and then coming all the way up into this awkward standing twist. Arms out wide, shoulders relaxed. With your next inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, to start to take a micro bend into that right knee. So you should be able to feel that stretch in the front of the right hip flexor. Keep squeezing that right glute. And think about tucking your sit bones under here. Belly button pulls back towards the spine. If it gets too much for the arms, or if you start to feel a bit lightheaded, just bring your hands onto your hips here. Take in one inhale, exactly as you are. And as you exhale, we're going to take that bend in the right knee, hovering the right knee about a centimetre off the ground. Inhale, coming all the way up. 3 more. Exhale, dropping that right knee down. Inhale, coming up. Last 2. Exhale, right knee drops down. Take your time. Inhale to lift. Last 1. Exhale, we drop that right knee and inch off the ground. Inhale, coming all the way up into your lunge. Open up your arms to a T. Drop your right heel down, 45-degree angle, finding warrior 2. So this time the left leg is bent. Legs might be burning, arms might be burning, but it's all good. Keep breathing. Shoulders relaxed. Just take your gaze over the left fingertips. Think about bending into that left knee and at the same time trying to open it up to the side as well. Take 1 more full inhale here. As you exhale, windmill the hands down to frame that left leg. Both hands come down to the ground. Step left foot back to meet your right foot at the back of the mat in your plank position. Inhale into your plank, and as you exhale, either move straight back into your down dog or move through vinyasa in your own time with your own breath. Making sure that you have got that connection with the breath wherever you are. So the breath always leads the movements. If you do start to feel warm, exhale it out the mouth, taking a couple of deep breaths. Hopefully you should be feeling a little bit warmer, a little bit more stretched. If you were in your child's pose, just making your way up into your downward facing dog. Taking an inhale, lift up that right leg, open up the right hip, 3-legged dog, point your right toes. And as you exhale, bend your right knee, squeeze your right knee all the way through to the front of the mat. Drop that right foot down to replace the right hand. Drop your left knee down. We're going to move into our lizard stretch. So first thing to do is just walk that right foot to the outside edge of your mat and then bring both hands onto the inside of the right leg. You might find that you want to stay on your fists. If there is enough space, you can come down onto the palms. And the next thing we can do here, so if you're staying here, that's absolutely fine. The next thing you can do is start to lift the inside arch of that right foot. I'll spin around so you can see me a little bit better. So we're trying to pick up the inside of that right foot, so your right knee kind of just moves out to the side a little bit more. If that feels all right. The next option, if you've got the space, you can start to drop down onto your forearms here. I can't demonstrate because I'm really tight, but if you have got blocks, if you've got books you want to use to drop your forearms down, then you can just grab those. Final option, just to make this stretch a little bit more active into that left leg, is to tuck your left toes and start to lift up that left knee. If it feels good, you can start to rock forwards and backwards into your lizard stretch. If you'd rather just stay still, that's also fine. You'll probably find that you prefer one or the other. It's quite a deep stretch, so the breath is key. The exhales do help us feel a little bit more relaxed. They do help us feel a little bit more at ease in these deep stretches, so really try and connect in with that breath. Just feeling into the hips. Maybe softening the gaze, closing the eyes, let the jaw relax, soften the forehead. From your lizard, we're going to make our way out of it. So first thing to do is drop that left knee down if you had it lifted. From there, start to place the right sole of the foot flat down onto the ground, and then shuffle that right foot back into the center of the mat. Tuck your left toes, we're going to lift up that leg, back up again, and then step your left leg about halfway forwards. So we are finding our pyramid stretch. So both legs want to be as straight as you can, but you might find you need to keep a micro bend in that right leg. Your feet want to be in line with your hips, and then your hands can either stay on the ground, you can catch hold of the leg, place the hands onto the hips, or you can use those books or blocks. So you're more than welcome to stay here, or you can move around with me, taking an inhale, lengthen the spine, lift up the chest. And as you exhale, we're going to pick up that left heel, bend your left knee, and then send your hips backwards. Inhale, start to straighten that left leg, lift up your chest, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, pick up the left heel, bend your left knee, send your hips backwards, let the spine round. Inhale, halfway lift, left leg straightens. Exhale to bend. We've got 2 more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the left knee. Last time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, start to bend into that back leg. Inhale, halfway lift. This time it's going to start to get a little bit spicy. It's going to burn. Start to lift up that left leg, finding your standing split. So that hamstring, the right hamstring, is not going to be happy. We're going to breathe through it and it's going to be fine. You can stay here or take an inhale. And as you exhale, bend your left knee, squeeze your left knee towards your right, bend that right knee as well, making yourself into a little ball. Inhale, lift up that left leg. Exhale, knees come together, make yourself into a ball. We've got 2 more. Inhale, lift up left leg. Get it higher if you can. Exhale, crunch into that ball position. We've got 1 more. Inhale, lift up that left leg. And then from here, start to transition into a lunge position, dropping the left tiptoes down, taking an inhale, bringing the hands up overhead. Then as you exhale, opening up the hands to the side, opening up the legs into a wide leg position. Turning your toes out to the side, and then just bring your arms out in front. So from here, I'm going to start to move through a couple of sumo squats. Take an inhale, stand up a little bit taller. And as you exhale, start to squat down, send those knees out to the side. Come down as deep as you can, trying to get those hips in line with the knees. Inhale, coming up to standing. Exhale, squat down. Really lift up the chest, get that thoracic extension into the top of the back. Inhale, coming up to standing. Last time we exhale, squat down, and I'm going to hold it here. So really draw those knees out to the side. Keep pressing down into the feet, shoulders are relaxed. If you'd like to, you can bring the hands to the heart space, or keep those arms out in front. Just make sure you're breathing into the thighs, they're going to burn. Tuck the sit bones under. If you want a challenge, come up onto those tiptoes, squat a little bit deeper. Hold it here for 5. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten out the legs. Place your hands onto your hips, just turn your toes in slightly. Take an inhale here, stand up a little bit taller. And as you exhale, start to fold forwards, bringing your hands all the way down to the ground, finding that hamstring stretch. So if your hands don't meet the ground, first thing you can do is make your stance a little bit wider. Second thing you can do is just place the hands onto the shins instead. You can also bend the knees here. So if you do feel like your lower back is rounding, then you can bend into the knees here. And this is going to bring that stretch into the hamstrings rather than the lower spine. Relax into this position. With every exhale, to see if you can start to stretch a little bit deeper into the backs of those legs. If your hands are flat onto the ground, imagine you're trying to push the ground away. This is going to help you deepen that stretch into the hamstrings. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands come to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And then we're going to step the left foot to meet the right foot at the front of the mat, bringing those feet together. Taking an inhale, hands come up overhead, shoulders are down. Exhale, forward fold, finding that hamstring stretch. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, both hands come down to the ground, step or jump back, plank position. Inhaling into your plank. And as you exhale, either moving through a vinyasa or skip it, coming straight back into your downward dog or your child's pose. Taking 5 deep breaths. Wherever you are, using that breath if you're moving through your vinyasa. Moving with control. Once you're in your downward dog, Let that head relax, let those shoulders move away from the ears. Trying to draw your chest back towards your thighs. If you are in your child's pose, coming all the way back up into your downward facing dog. We've just got one more side left and then we're done. So send up those hips to the sky. Take an inhale, left leg lift, three-legged dog, lift up that left leg. And as you exhale, squeeze your left knee, draw the left knee all the way in towards the left elbow, and then drop that left foot down to replace the left hand. Our right knee is going to drop down to the ground. We're going to find that lizard stretch. So again, you might be all right just staying here with the hands on the ground, or the fists can come to the ground. If you want a little bit more, the first thing to do is start to walk that left foot out towards the left a little bit further. From there, you can then start to tilt onto the outside edge of that left arch, that left foot. Maybe just staying here is enough. If you want to come down onto the forearms, then feel free to come down onto those forearms if it feels all right, using books and blocks wherever you need. The last option is to tuck the right toes, lift up that right leg, and then either just staying still, or you can start to rock gently from side to side, round in circles, just feeling into the hips. We'll take 5 deep breaths in this stretch, so as it is a deep stretch. Use those exhales to soften, to deepen, to relax into the hips. Maybe closing the eyes. Softening the jaw, softening the forehead. Working on lengthening those inhales as much as those exhales. Take your time to start to make your way out of this stretch. So dropping that left foot flat onto the ground. Right knee comes down just for a moment. We're going to walk that left foot back into the centre of the mat. Both hands frame at the left foot. Maybe you're on your fingertips here. We tuck that right toe, lift up that right knee, and then step your right foot about half a stride. So both feet are flat onto the ground. Feet want to be in 2 tracks, so they're in line with the hips. Left leg is as straight as you can, but you can keep a micro bend in that left leg if there's any pulling or any tugging around the knee or into the back of the left leg. Either staying here in this stretch, hands on the floor, shins or hips. We take an inhale to lift up the chest, and as you exhale, bend your right knee. Start to bring your weight to the back of the mat, folding a little bit deeper over that left leg. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, right knee bends, bringing your weight back to that right leg. Inhale, lift up the chest. Exhale, bending the right knee, folding a little bit deeper. We've got 2 more. We inhale, lengthen the spine. Really find the breath here. Exhale, folding over that left leg, bending your right knee. Last one, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bending your right knee, chest comes down towards the left leg. When you next inhale, start to lengthen the spine, bring the fingertips down towards the ground, lift up your right leg, standing splits. Breathe. So either keeping it here, or inhale, lift up that right leg a little bit higher. As you exhale, both knees bend, bring those knees together, make yourself into that small ball. Inhale, lift up right leg. Exhale, right knee bends, squeeze right knee to left, make yourself as small as you can. We've got 2 more. We inhale, lift up that right leg. Exhale, right knee squeezes in towards the left. Find that little ball. Last time, inhale, lift up that right leg. Exhale, squeeze both knees together. Inhale, lift up your right leg, taking your time from here to transition back into a lunge position. So the right tiptoes drop down, we inhale, hands come up overhead. And as you exhale, open the arms up to a T, turning to the side of the mat, finding a wide-legged stance. I'm just going to spin around so that you can see me. So from here, turn the toes in slightly, hands come up onto the hips, we lengthen the spine on the inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to go back into that forward fold, bringing the hands down towards the ground. We're not going to stay here with the knees out, with the legs out wide. We're going to start to walk our feet, just heel toe the feet together. So you're finding a hip width stance. So we've got quite a narrower stance here. Making sure that the feet are stacked underneath the hips. Wherever you are, whether you've got your hands on the ground, shins or thighs, take an inhale, lengthen the chest, look forwards. And as you exhale, start to pull your elbows out to the side. So you're deepening that stretch into the backs of the legs. If you've got pretty flexible hamstrings, then you can bring the two peace fingers onto the inside of your big toes and then press your thumb down onto the top of the toe. We'll take 5 breaths in this hamstring stretch. So in this hamstring stretch, it's quite easy to get a stretch into the lower spine, which we don't really want to do. We get enough of that being sat down. So what you can do instead is bend the knees a lot, and that's going to flatten out that lower spine. If your lower back feels fine, then you can start to straighten those legs just to deepen that stretch a little bit more. Keep breathing here. With your exhales, softening into the backs of those legs. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. Let that head be heavy. On your next inhale, lengthen the spine, lift up the chest. Exhale, place the hands onto the hips. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. So we should be facing the side of the mat. We're going to take a deep squat to come down to a seat. Don't worry if this doesn't work out. Turn the toes out a little bit wider. Bring the arms out in front. We're going to squat down, send your knees out to the side, bringing your bum as close towards the mat or the ground as you can. And then once you've got there, sit your bum down and then bring the legs out into a straddle. If you need to find another way of getting down, then please just do whatever you need to do to find this seat. When you have found a seat, bring your legs out into a straddle, flex your toes back towards the knees, and then you want to externally rotate your femur. So imagine you're trying to roll your thighs backwards. We're going to finish with a couple of stretches for the adductors and the hamstrings. Taking an inhale, you may need to keep the hands behind the back for this one. If you feel like your lower back's collapsing or if you're just struggling to sit upright in this position, just place your hands behind your back, taking an inhale, and then just see if you can start to tilt forwards a tiny bit. This might be enough. If you've got pretty good flexibility here, then you can start to bring the hands in front of your legs. Maybe just start to walk the hands forwards, bringing the chest to the ground if you can. And then we're just going to hold it here for 5 breaths. So flex the feet, keep those legs active, checking that your femur legs haven't started to roll inwards. You want to press them back, lift up through the spine, trying to keep that length in the lower back. With every exhale, can you soften into this stretch? If you ever do this one in your own time, if you've got any weights, if you've got a dumbbell or a kettlebell, what you can do is hold onto that instead, and that'll help you drive down a little bit deeper into this stretch. Breathe here, keep those shoulders soft. Just notice with every exhale, can you find a little bit more space? Can you get a bit of a deeper stretch? On your next inhale, just start to walk the hands in towards your sit bones. Pivot your chest to the left leg, hands frame the left leg. You might just want to stay here, or inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, just start to walk forwards over that left leg, either keeping the hands on the thigh, hands can come onto the shin, or catch hold of that left foot, either with one hand or with both hands. Just trying to feel that stretch into the back of the left leg. Again, try not to let that femur roll in, keep rolling it backwards. Feet are flexed. Don't forget about that right leg. Keep that right leg as active as you can. Lift up the kneecaps on that right leg. We'll take another 2 breaths here. Just feeling into the back of that left leg. Take your time on your next inhale to come all the way up to an upright position. We're going to twist over to the right hand side, fingertips frame that right leg, and then just start to forward fold over that right thigh, over that right leg. Keeping those feet flexed, those feet are active. Try not to let that femur roll in, keep rolling that thigh out. Slowly from here, on your next inhale, to start to come up to the centre. We've got one more stretch on each side. This time we're going to come into a side stretch. So place the left back of your left hand down onto the ground. You might even just want to hook that left hand underneath your right thigh just to keep it pressed down into the ground. Take an inhale, lift up your right arm. And as you exhale, we're going to start to reach that right arm over to the left hand side. Depending on your body, your flexibility, you might be able to get that left elbow down towards the ground and maybe even catch hold of your left big toe with the right hand. From there, start to twist your chest open towards the sky. Don't worry if you can't meet that right big toe. You're still going to get a good enough stretch, just lifting that right arm up overhead. You should feel this all the way down the right side of the body and into that left hamstring as well. You can just stay upright as well here, so if it's uncomfortable with the left hand down, just a gentle stretch over to the right hand side is still going to get into the side of the body. So same principle applies here. With every inhale, can you lengthen the spine? With every exhale, can you find a little bit of a deeper stretch? We'll take 2 more deep breaths here. And your next inhale, come all the way up to the centre. We'll swap sides, so right hand comes down onto the ground, palm faces up, and then either sliding that right hand underneath your left thigh, or just keeping the right hand just relaxed onto the ground. Take an inhale, left hand lifts, and as you exhale, we start to reach that left hand over to the right, thumb, over to the right big toe, and then your options are to catch hold of that big toe, dropping that right forearm down, maybe, or you can stay upright, getting that stretch into the left lower back, left obliques, just really opening up that left side of the body. Breathe here. Maybe closing the eyes. We are completely slowing down now. Keep that neck soft. We'll take 1 more deep breath here. And then on your next inhale, coming all the way up to the centre. Just place your hands underneath your thighs, lift up your legs. We're going to make our way onto our spines. So just placing the soles of the feet flat onto the ground, taking your time from here to roll down 1 vertebra at a time, coming all the way onto your backs. Draw the knees into the chest when you get there. And just start to gently rock from side to side. So just massaging that lower spine into the ground. We'll take 1 happy baby before our Shavasana. So bring the knees into the chest. Arms come on the inside of the legs. Hands catch hold of the outside of the feet. And you can either stay completely still here or just start to move around, bending one knee, bending the other knee. Taking any last movements, any last positions you want to take before your Shavasana. If you are ready, we will meet in our Shavasana, so grab any props, any blankets, any extra layers you want to use. Taking the legs out long, if that feels alright on the lower back. If not, keep the knees bent and just let the legs collapse in towards each other. If you want to, you can take a seated meditation to finish. So the way we started, with the legs crossed, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to be here for about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you do want to take a longer one, if you want to take a shorter one, feel free to just leave YouTube. And thank you for joining me if you are. Whenever you're ready, take a full inhale in through the nose. And exhale, breathe it all back out, sigh out the body. Do that as many times as you need. Full inhales in, full exhales out. Closing the eyes. And just observe the body here as it starts to settle, starts to relax into the ground. Maybe just noticing as the breath starts to come back to a natural rhythm. Maybe noticing as the body starts to cool down, any tingling. Maybe you can feel your pulse somewhere. Letting the body become completely heavy, so relaxing the forehead, relaxing the jaw. Releasing the shoulders. Letting the arms and all 10 fingers and both palms just feel soft. Letting go of any tension in the hips. And just let the legs be heavy and the feet be heavy wherever they are. Using every exhale to feel a little bit deeper, to fall a little bit deeper into the ground. Whenever you're ready, just start to bring the attention back to your body. Just starting to make a couple of micro movements, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, rocking the head gently from side to side. Bringing your feet together, take the legs out long, take the arms up overhead, finding a long pencil stretch. Make yourself as long as you can. And then draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. either rocking straight up into a seat from here or coming through a fetal position. Just taking your time to come up into a comfortable seat. Take your time to get there. There's no rush, keeping the eyes soft, maybe even keeping the eyes closed. When you've found that comfortable seat, really lengthen up through the spine, shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Draw the shoulders all the way down and back. We'll do that one more time. Bring the shoulders up to the ears. Send them all the way down and back. Hands come together at the heart space. We bow our chin down to our chest. Thanking yourself for taking an hour out of your Tuesday morning to show up and practice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of Tuesday. Fabulous week ahead. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Namaste. Thank you guys. Let me know if you've got any questions as per normal, per usual. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week.